Hello.
Hi.
Welcome back. Welcome if you're new.
This is the Afterlife Hotline. I'm Denisha.
I'm Ashley.
And today we are talking about the holiday haunts and winter spirits, if you will.
Yes. I'm very excited about this one.
So while Ashley is going to be covering the holiday hauntings and Christmas ghosts, I'm going to go a little bit older for a Hallmark Christmas, before Santa, before cozy, because winter folklore did not start out cute. It started out as a survival horror.
Oh, geez.
These are the winter spirits, creatures and omens that show up when the world goes quiet, the nights get long, and the humans are reminded of how fragile they actually are. So the first one I want to talk about, I think most people know, which is Krampus. The shadow of Saint Nicholas. He is from Central and Alpine Europe. Krampus is probably one of the most dark, famous figures for Christmas, and he deserves it.
Is it Krampus or Krampus?
I think more German is Krampus. It's because it's like
Krampus.
I'm gonna fuck this up, but it's like Krampusschnapp.
Okay. I'll believe you. I did recently see a video. Somebody was asking like how people felt about the video, and surprisingly, everybody was very supportive, and they're like, yeah, you're better than me. I wouldn't be able to pronounce that. But everybody's like, oh yeah, it's the Krampus or Krampus, we'll say Krampus, tradition. And just because other people believe differently than you doesn't make it wrong, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, I am so proud of all the people.
I think we had a
comments.
festival in Fayetteville for it.
Yeah. Kudos to the people wearing some of those costumes. Some costumes look heavy and hot.
Mm-hmm. So Krampus or Krampus, however you feel like saying it, originates in Alpine folklore. Austria, Germany, and parts of Hungary and Slovenia. He is described as a horned demonic figure with goat legs, one singular fang.
Just in the middle. One tooth.
Toofs. Fangs, a long tongue, and chains rattling behind him. Those chains aren't just for decoration, though. They symbolize the binding evil, but also punishment.
That movie was creepy.
Krampus doesn't replace St. Nicholas. He follows him. While St. Nick rewards good children, Krampus punishes the bad ones. And folklore punishment is not like just go to bed early or do your dishes. It's whipping kids with birch branches, stuffing them into sacks or baskets, and in some stories, dragging them straight to hell or the underworld. Now remember, these are kids. These are children.
And it's the parents that came up with this, I'm sure.
Yeah, they're...
Don't be bad for Christmas because you'll go to hell.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, they tell
God.
you, like, the Forbidden Forest, the Black Forest, all that kind of stuff. You'll get snatched up, like...
It's giving The Village.
Yeah.
That's what it's giving.
Yeah.
If you know, you know.
Except for it wound up that the...
Yeah, I know, but that's what it's giving.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Basically, winter is when the consequences are due because you've had an entire year to behave and now it's the reckoning season. So whenever you haven't done good, you're going to pay the price. What's wild is that Krampus was almost completely wiped out. In the Catholic Church, they tried to ban him because he was too pagan, too demonic, too honest. But he came back, and he came back hard, because fuck that. And now we have Krampusschnapp, which I'm mispronouncing.
Krampusschnapp.
You know, if I watched Grimoire, I would probably be able to say it correctly.
Oh, yeah.
Because they've got all of the folklore and stuff like that in it. Grimm's fairy tales, but it's very dark. It's one of my favorite.
That's where
Yeah, and your mom actually watched that show for a good while.
That's true.
People will dress up like him, run through the streets, and intentionally scare others, which is fantastic. Which feels like humanity saying, we kind of need the fear.
Yeah.
He isn't just scary. He's winter's reminder that everyone doesn't get to be forgiven.
That's fair.
And I think that's a pretty solid reminder.
Yeah.
Because you need to be, like, not everything is all hunky-dory. Your actions do have consequences. Consequences.
Remember that. Quanta. Your actions have consequences.
The Krampus is going to come for you, and he's going to put you in a bag.
And then drag you to hell.
Could you imagine, though? Like, what if the bag had nails in it? And so you're being thrown into the bag and dragged.
I've been impaled.
I need a Halloween Horror Nights house for him. I'm sure they had one back when the movie came out.
I'm surprised they wouldn't do that during Christmas time.
Well, because it's all happy and cheery. And
But do it in Universal.
yeah, at Universal, it's all happy and cheery.
Because, oh.
They have, so the Macy's parade, Thanksgiving parade floats, they have the same creators that do their floats. We're going to see that next year.
I still think they should do a section for Krampus and Universal during Christmas because they have Halloween Horror Nights and then they have Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween in Disney. So they should have regular Christmas and then have a small little section for Krampus.
I was going to say, they lean very into the whole, like, Hogwarts holidays.
Damn it.
But we will get to see it next year.
That is true.
The next one I'm going to talk about is one that I'm really excited to talk about. And it's the one that you were excited to hear about. The Yule Cat.
Yay!
Capitalism's worst nightmare.
Fair.
So this comes from Icelandic folklore.
Mm-hmm.
And it's super unhinged. The Yule
I'm
Cat,
excited to hear about this.
The Yule Cat is a massive supernatural cat that roams the countryside around the Christmas time. Its rule is simple. If you do not receive new clothes before Christmas, the Yule Cat would eat you.
What happens if you're poor?
No moral gray area. No redemption arc. No socks. You're done. No free elf. Dobby must go.
Savage.
You are being eaten. Just no socks for you.
So I'd be like, I'm gonna be knitting up a storm or something because
Knit everybody you know at least one sock.
My God.
And you have to, it's not that you could go out and buy clothes. You had to receive the clothes. So they had to be gifted.
Wow, that's not very kind to that cat.
This legend comes from Iceland's harsh winters and wool production culture. People had to process the wool before winter fully set in, and it was necessary for their survival. So it was a matter of like,
Okay.
get on it before, not a matter of just like, oh, you didn't receive a sock, you're dead. More so like survival.
Okay, because there always has to be some sort of meaning behind everything. It's like, hey, if you don't receive warm clothes before winter, you're gonna die from the cold.
But in reality,
AKA the Yule Cat.
Can you not?
Got it.
Yule Cat.
Here it comes again. Homie, she's comfy. She ain't taking her pillows off this time.
If you if you worked hard, you were rewarded with new clothes. But if you didn't, you were getting eaten by the cat. Wow, Chewy.
It was wet. So I let him, and he like rubbed his mouth on it. I didn't realize it was wet, but he misfooted, and I went to catch him, and I went, and it scared him, and it made him fall even more, and then he just took off.
Did she make you fall?
I scared him, and then he drooled on my microphone.
Oh man. Over time, this turned into a story parents told children to encourage work ethic. But imagine being a child and hearing, finish your chores or the giant Christmas cat is going to eat you alive.
Oh.
What I love about the Yule Cat is that it's not evil per se. Mm-hmm. It's enforcement. So winter does not care if you are tired. It didn't care if you had time to prepare. It is what it is. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's really crazy because it's very much like Krampus. Like,
yeah.
Winter is your time for consequences. You're prepared or you're not. You're going to deal with your consequences.
Yep.
And so that is the
Yule Cat.
The Yule Cat who will eat you if you don't
Definitely
have a
was
sock.
not what I was expecting. And I looked up none of these because I didn't want to know. That's... Wow.
Yeah. It's not as cutesy.
If I have children, I'm going to make sure they act right. And if not, I'll tell them that the Yule Cat will come and eat them. So.
And it's just a picture of a Maine Coon.
Yeah. Yep. Chewy. Just have Chewy. He's the Yule Cat. The Yule Cat and Krampus will come and get you.
And you know what's kind of crazy is,
what if the Yule Cat is Krampus's pet?
I could see that.
Yeah.
That would make sense. Because Krampus gets the kids and the cat gets anything that doesn't have clothes. So anything else.
So it's like Krampus steals the kids and then the cat eats the kids.
Yeah. So maybe hell isn't hell, but necessarily you're just being eaten, which would feel like hell.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure it would.
So my next one is Yuki Onna, which I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that. I had never even heard of this one. So this is the spirit of snow and silence.
Oh.
And it comes from Japanese folklore. It is a hauntingly beautiful winter spirit. So this is kind of one of my only like spirits per se, but it was folklore-ish.
Yeah.
Her gnome. Her name literally means snow woman, and she appears during blizzards, snowstorms, or on isolated mountain paths. She's usually described as tall, pale, ethereal, almost glowing against the snow. Long black hair, cold skin, bare feet that leave no footprints. Sometimes she is said to kill travelers instantly with her icy breath. Other times she leads them astray until they freeze to death. But here's what makes her different. She isn't always cruel. Some versions say she spares people, especially children or someone she finds beautiful or kind. In other stories, she marries a human and lives peacefully until her true nature is discovered. And once that secret is broken, she will disappear or kill, or vanish into the snow forever. She isn't a punishment like everything else we've seen. She is an inevitability. Inevitability. That's the word. Can you not go through my chords? She represents how winter doesn't hunt, it waits. She is quiet danger, and she is the kind that looks peaceful right before she kills you.
She's given Baba Yaga.
Yeah. And I think it was a really nice juxtaposition between, oh, I can say that word, right? Between between being hunted and killed versus just kind of feeling what nature has.
Yeah. I wonder if she's just like she is the cold that'll kill people.
Mr. Snow instead of Mr. Heat Miser. So this one is Northern and Western Europe. It's less of a creature and more of a warning.
Mm-hmm.
The wild hunt appears across Northern European folklore, Germany, Scandinavia, Britain even, and it's described as a ghostly procession racing through the sky during winter storms. Hunters on spectral horses, howling winds, black dogs, the sound of hooves overhead. Seeing the wild hunt was a terrible omen. It could mean war, plague, death in your household, or that you might be swept up and forced to join them.
Oh no.
The leader changes depending on the region. Odin, a cursed god, a cursed king, a devil figure, or the restless dead themselves. It doesn't matter who leads it, it's where it happens and when it happens. It's almost always in the winter, almost always at night, and almost always during storms. It represents the thin veil when the living and the dead overlap. It's safest to stay inside, lock your doors, and mind your business.
I do that anyway.
Yeah. I mean, but that's, if I feel like if you see it, something bad will happen.
Yeah. If you see it, no, you don't.
Exactly.
Go inside.
Don't
shut your door.
acknowledge it. You didn't see it. Shut up. Shut your mouth. But they all share the same message, which I felt like was kind of interesting. And it's what we all know now. But like back then, I could see it not being so well known, is that winter does not care. Winter is not gentle. It is a force to be reckoned with, and you have to be prepared or you're going to feel the effects. Whether your children are eaten, dragged into hell, or you didn't get a sock and so you're being killed.
Eaten. You're getting eaten by a cat. Because Dobby didn't get a sock. Dobby is not a free elf.
Dobby is not a free elf.
No. Poor buddy.
They said, not for you.
Not for you. Well, I had the holiday hauntings.
I'm excited for these.
Me too. So, Christmas Eve has always felt different. It's not loud, spooky like Halloween. It's quiet, heavy, almost watchful. It sits right at the edge of the year when everything feels slower and more reflective, and a lot of cultures believe that it made it easier for things to cross over. Before the lights and the music and the cozy traditions, winter was something people were genuinely afraid of. And on nights like Christmas Eve, even something as simple as a doorway wasn't just a doorway. It was a threshold. That's where the story of Christmas Eve knock comes in. Across places like rural England, Ireland, and Appalachia, people tell the same unsettling experience. Late at night, usually after midnight, there's a knock at the door. Not loud or frantic, just 3 slow, deliberate knocks. When someone finally opens the door, there's no one there. Which I'm very surprised they're opening the door in Appalachia.
Yeah.
Because they say if you hear something, no, you don't. Especially a knock on your door. No footsteps, no movement. Sometimes the knocking comes back again later. Exactly the same way, like whatever is knocking knows it has time. Depending on who you ask, the meaning changes. Some believe it's a warning that the knocks represent death or loss in the coming year. Others say it's not meant to scare at all, but to be acknowledged. A spirit pausing at the end of the year, checking to see if it's still remembered. And what makes it worse is that there's no clear rule on what you're supposed to do. Some say never open the door. Agreed. Others say ignoring it is more dangerous. In a few traditions, people would light a candle and quietly speak through the door, not inviting anything in, just letting it know that it had not inviting anything in, just letting it know it had been heard. I'm curious as to if that's why they have, like, you know how in New England, whenever we go, there's a lot of candles up in the windows?
Yeah.
I wonder if that's a symbolism for anything.
Could be. It's like I acknowledge your existence. You're still not welcome within these doors, but yeah, I could see that.
Because whenever we go up north to Maine, especially during like the fall time, you start seeing all of the candles up in the windows. Even now, people still report unexplained knocking on Christmas Eve. Sounds that don't trigger cameras or sensors and then stop completely once Christmas Day arrives. Almost like the moment passes and whatever was lingering moves on. That idea of being remembered ties into another winter belief that feels even more personal. The spirit in the empty chair. In older Irish, Scottish, and Nordic traditions, the dead weren't treated like something to fear during the winter. They were treated like family. People would set out an extra chair at the table, sometimes even an extra plate, because it was believed ancestors returned home during the longest nights of the year. Doors were left unlocked on purpose, and not out of carelessness, but out of respect. That's sweet.
Well, it gives
I
me,
like that.
like at a lot of weddings, they'll leave chairs for their loved ones.
Like in memory of so-and-so. I fully plan on doing that.
I wouldn't expect anything else from you.
What people experience now isn't usually seeing a ghost sitting there. It's noticing something feels off. A chair that looks slightly pulled out when no one's touched it. A sudden pressure in the air, like someone just sat down quietly. Cold that gathers in one spot. Pets staring at an empty seat like someone's actually there. These moments tend to happen when the room goes quiet, or when someone who's passed away is mentioned out loud. Folklore says that the seat is taken by someone who still considers themselves part of the family, someone who once sat there, belonged there. It's so sad. And in some versions of the story, if the presence doesn't feel familiar, it's believed the family forgot to invite their dead, leaving the space for something else to wander in.
I don't like that.
I don't like that either. There's also, next year, I fully plan on making an ofrenda for the animals. There's something symbolic about a chair. Having a seat at the table means you matter. So when the seat feels occupied without a body, it doesn't feel threatening. It feels intentional. Like a reminder that the people we've lost don't always feel as far away as we think, especially this time of year. You can explain these moments away as grief or heightened emotion, and maybe sometimes that's true. But the fact that these stories exist across cultures
Yay!
that never crossed paths make it harder to dismiss it completely. Winter has a way of softening the boundary between reflection and memory, between presence and absence. So Halloween is about being scared. Winter hauntings feel just different. They feel quiet, personal, less like something trying to frighten you, and more like something stopping by, just to be remembered. So those are my 2 little Christmassy, wintry hauntings. I thought I had more than that. Apparently, I only had 2.
I like the chair, though, because it makes sense.
It does
makes a
make
lot of
sense. I do have a story. It is titled, Grandpa Came to See Me for Christmas.
Grandma got run over by a reindeer.
I hope that didn't happen in this because I didn't really fully read it.
Oh, dear.
Okay. This is a hard story to tell because it was my best and worst experience dealing with the supernatural. It's best because it proves not all ghost stories are about vengeful spirits and dark shadows that go bump in the night. It's the worst because, well, just read for yourselves. Oh God, what am I getting myself into?
That's ominous.
I know. It was a week before the first Christmas after my grandpa died, and I had stayed the night at my grandma's house after we had gone Christmas shopping the day before. My grandma was still taking it hard, and I'd been trying to help cheer her up. We had just gone out to do more shopping for gifts, boxes, and paper, the usual wrapping stuff. Then we went to McDonald's to go grab some takeout for lunch. When we got back, we ate lunch and watched Christmas movies in the living room until my mom got there to pick me up. I guess all that shopping wore her out because halfway through the movie we were watching, my grandma fell asleep. I would do the same thing. As I was sitting there, I started to think about my grandpa. We were always real close, and his passing really hit me hard, but I was trying to not show it around my grandma. I was missing him a lot, and I didn't actually want to stay over at my grandma's house as much as I used to, because being there brought up all the memories of him and just made me miss him even more. I never even went into his bedroom anymore because it was just too sad. Feel that. While my grandma was sleeping, I tried to pay attention to the movie, but all I could think about was my grandpa and all of the fun stuff we did for Christmas and how I just wanted to see him again. Then all of a sudden, the room started to feel cold. At first, I thought it was a draft, but then everything felt heavy and it got quiet, real quiet. The clock stopped ticking, no car noises, no nothing. It was like the whole world had just stopped. It looked like all the color had started to fade away till everything had just turned gray. Then my whole body felt like pinprickles, and it felt like someone was watching me. As I looked up, I almost screamed in shock. There in the doorway that led into the hall was my grandpa. He was just standing there smiling at me, watching his favorite cream color, brown pinstripe shirt sleeve button-up shirt, blue jeans, brown belt, white socks, brown loafers, and brown glasses. The only thing different was the kind of glow around him. I sat there frozen for what seemed like an hour. Then I started to stand up. I don't know why, maybe to hug him or maybe just to touch him to see if he was actually there. I don't know. But the second I got to my feet, he was gone. And the world went back to normal with all the sounds and color back like someone had just hit the unpause button. I just stood there for a second, then realized I was crying and went to get a tissue. An hour later, my mom came and got me. She and my grandma talked for a bit, but I stayed quiet, debating on whether or not to tell them what happened. I decided not to say anything to my grandma just yet, but told my mom everything on the car ride home when she noticed I was nervous about something. My mom was so shocked that she had to pull the car over. She asked me like a million questions, mostly if I was positive on what I saw, and each time I told her yes, and describing the whole thing over and over again. I then started to cry, and she hugged me to calm me down, even though she was crying too. When we were calmed down, she told me it was okay, but to never tell my grandma about what I saw that day. After that, I still visited my grandma, but never by myself, and I didn't stay overnight again. The weirdest part of that all was even though I was freaking out at what I saw, a part of me wanted to see him again. That's valid.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy though, because in another, we won't keep her name in here, but whenever she was telling me about an instance where she saw, I think it was her grandma in their house, her grandma was in black and white.
Yeah.
So there's something about like the black and white and like it being gray and stuff like that. Because as soon as I read that, I was like, that's weird, because that's not the first time I've ever heard of people seeing stuff in black and white.
Well, and it makes sense too, especially if they're no longer with us and they're older.
Yeah, because for them, everything else went black and white, but then the grandpa was in color. Yeah. So that's weird. That's strange. I wonder if there's like something behind that.
Very well could be. I mean, it could be like the energy, because that's got to take energy off of them.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. If I was to see Gigi or something like that, I would be so addicted on going back to the house being like, I need to see you. I need to see you more. Like, please come back.
But that could also be why many people don't do it as spirits, because, I mean, it doesn't do, what is it? It doesn't do well to dwell on dreams.
Yeah, that's true.
And like, think of it like, I'm making a Harry Potter reference here. I'm not sure it's the greatest idea, but like the Mirror of Erised, where Harry winds up seeing his parents.
Yeah.
And so he spends nights after nights after nights looking at the mirror, and finally Dumbledore's like, all right, I got to move this because you're just going to wither away and waste your life.
I mean, yeah.
That's not what
valid.
Your loved one would want.
No, that's true. Yeah, I don't know. That was it was sad. It was very sad. But yeah. So I was listening to Ghosties earlier on the way home, and they were talking about Christmas spirits and stuff like that, and one of them made me bawl. I was like, oh my God. The grandma basically came out of the bathroom, saw her deceased husband sitting on the bed. She goes and she sits next to him, and he's just like, oh, happy birthday, I love you, I miss you. And he goes to give her a kiss, and she leans in, and she closes her eyes, and she opens them, and he's gone.
Aww.
And then literally it was like 12:01, so it was her birthday, but she saw the full body. She was able to give him like a hug and everything like that, and I'm just like, I was like, this is so sad, but it's so cool, like how they can just pick and choose when to pop up and show up. It makes my mind just think about everything. Like, what is life? What is everything? Parallel universes.
Everything is
Timelines.
nothing and nothing is everything.
Oh my God. We're just all energy. We're all just a little bit of stardust. It's okay.
Stardust and spite. I want that on a shirt.
Stardust and spite. That's very accurate, actually.
I know.
Stardust and spite. But yeah. So, yeah.
That's our winter spirits and holiday hauntings.
If you have any suggestions on what you want to hear paranormal wise, leave a comment, email us at the Afterlife Hotline at gmail.com. Right? Yeah. It's been a minute. But yeah, if you have any ghostly stories, feel free to email them to us or message us, whatever you prefer.
What other folklore creatures should we talk about?
Yes.
Because there's a whole world. I mean, I have a whole book just of...
Yep. Grims. Yeah. I'd like to talk about those. More of like the folklore and stuff like that. Yeah, that'd be cool. Hell yeah. Well, with that being said...
Keep one foot in the living world.
And 1 year on the line. We'll catch you next time, guys.
Bye.
Bye.